guys, Lux Angus here. Naga bless, be the trials, be the force be upon you, and this is like the second part of my review of a walking with 4 months, longer than 4 months, with Naga Draco Amaymon, and I have felt like the last time it wasn't enough explainable, or like it wasn't enough explained in my last part, that I want to try to uncomplicatedly to shorten the whole sentence. I want to present the fruits of my labors walking with Naga Draco Amaymon. And well, like, I feel like there should be a second part, because the last time I clicked on play button and record button, like, you apparently we can tell that I was also like in this part tired and exhausted, like, and I couldn't think that much clearly. And well, for a time I reflected on these experiences, and I reflected all this association of Amaymon symbolism and energies, and like, for example, the maturity part of myself. It is also linked with the planet Saturn. Saturn, the dark planet, the like this planet Saturn on its own, on its old past histories and symbolism, is associated with old age, with illness, with wisdom, but also wisdom attained through hard labor, through hard destinies of faith, or like through hardships throughout one's life, but also like not only hardships, but also like spiritual endeavors in the sphere of Saturn that can also be perceived and gained in some kind of way wisdom and maturity in the forces of Saturn when you are getting in contact with Saturn. And when I'm thinking back to it, like, it did make sense that I became also more seriously, and in the zodiacal sign of Saturn is Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius is prone to know be more cold and logical, and Capricorn is prone to know be more focused on work, being focused on power, to achieving some kind of way power, Capricorn. And for some reason, for some time, I was naturally more like drawn upon the sign of Capricorn, and I was also like more drawn subconsciously to such persons, be it like in love interest, be it like in exchange with one another in some way or another. And I just think maybe it has to do like some lack, or some lack of imbalance thereof, because I myself am like more a lofty, more a spiritual focused person in my life, and I go more in the realm of the spiritual reality instead of the material reality. And I know this is not a balanced living, it is not a balanced consciousness, and I want to have like a healthy relationship with also the earthly reality, also with the work reality. And well, like, Amaymon, I think on this aspect had understand this about myself, like I was more focused on a spiritual supernatural side of this red existence, and he showed me like more also like the darker other side, but also like the reality that this physical earth has, in correlation with money, correlation with seriousness about one exceeding fleeting life here on this earth. And well, of course, one can say like, I'm like a young dude, like 22 young years, but I must say, you can say like, if you are getting older, of course you get more mature. But I know other dudes or girls in my age that are still 14 years in the mind, or like more badly, like they are 30 and be in our biological scale, and 40 or even 60 in the mind scale, if I know what I mean, if I'm like measuring myself with other people my age. I don't want to say that like these guys don't know anything. Everybody knows something that I would never know, because I am not in their skin, I'm not in their reality. But you know what I mean, like from the maturity and the perceiving of reality, perceiving of certain things about oneself, about the things how the world runs sometimes. And everybody has this premonition of illusions, set up illusions, be it like vanity of oneself, be it like a pride, be it like all this stuff that I talk about, like pride, vanity, and perception, and like premonition of some things that like everybody is prone to like exaggerate or like undermine such things in an unrealistic matter. And this also get through this maturity process, like more and more popped with time walking with him. And it is really correlates logically through his like through his associations with such forces of darkness and Satan. It makes sense. It makes sense. And also with death, darkness and death. And death, like not really like that you are physically dying, but I just say like the percentage is never like completely out of the way to die physically in this aspect. Like it can happen, but it's really unlikely to happen. If this happens, like there must be really something bigger going on in the background, if you know what I mean. And something like that happens, or like your own overbearing, unrecognized shadow or dark side of yourself has been so long ignored, and you just maybe through uninformation or maybe like to some type of higher form of ignorance have like pushed it away and ignored. In that way, like it's really fucking your life up spiritually, mentally, physically, cursing oneself and focusing on things that bring you nowhere because you're not aware of your own faults, own shadow and of such. And there he like has desolated the barriers between my so-called conscious side, my light side, and the unconscious side, the shadow side. And somewhere or another, this bridge between these two became more whole, became more in agreement with one another, so to say, become more in agreement with one of another. And it wasn't anymore like this duality, and because of that I was also more in general aspect more concentrated, more focused than usually. I was no longer more in this internal fight, because I understand more and more my own unrecognized shadows and faults and failures and hardships that I went through because of this ignored aspect of myself, because of this unrecognized and unhid aspect of myself, that my conscious side consciously went into the dark side and perceived it and brought light into this situation and transformed it onto your whole consciousness. Because the consciousness then afterwards is never like purely white, it is like in this gray zone, in this twilight zone. I like to call it this way, the twilight zone, the zone in between is melted together, is perfectly balanced, so to say. And even though he's polarized more in the darkness, I say, in the end he brought me somewhere another in a balanced state in this way. And yeah, it was only possible because I didn't force my own so-called wants, the so-called goals too much into my spiritual practice. I am more devotional when it comes to my spiritual project. I'm more devotional, I'm more open to receive the entity's suggestions and helps. I'm just like in a sense, this OG is about go with the flow, and sometimes it is not that bad. Even more, sometimes like even better. Like it is, it